our goal then in writing? Intent, if you can't remember, look at the board. What's our goal? Using yes ma'am. Fancy words. All of you know yes ma'am, but you forgot. What's that type of writing that we use it for? If you add figurative language to it, that pumps it up.
To cite evidence and constructive response.
Constructive response. Remember I was talking about that yesterday? So like construction, like you have to have a plan. You just say, hey, I'm gonna build a house. Oh no. You have to have plans, blueprints, start with a frame, materials. You have to have all that together, right? So that's kind of what constructive response is. And all of you are good writers. We've talked about that, right? This is a little trick or strategy to help you become an even better writer. So, what's the hardest part of writing? Talk to your partner. Make sure everybody has someone to talk to. Okay, 3, 2, 1. What if you and your partner decide, this is typically what I get when people say, Ashlyn. Getting your sentences down? Oh, okay.
Starting out a paragraph.
That's what I find. Most people say, Mrs. Nagel, I have it. Now, I know what I want to say, I just don't know how to say it. Like those first couple sentences are typically the hardest, right? So yes, ma'am is the perfect strategy because it basically has this little frame that you can go from. All you have to do is go back, like Ashlyn said, put your finger on the evidence to cite it, and then just put it into those words. Think of the ideas, right? So a lot of times people say, I know what I want to say, I just don't know how to get started. This is the perfect starting point, okay? So I made all of you for your writing folders. Usually I call them cheat sheets. This is a whole cheat package, okay? A packet for you. And you notice how I have the holes in it? So it's going to go right in the front of your writing folders. So we have yes ma'am. So yes ma'am is when they ask you your opinion. They ask you your opinion. So your opinion, like remember we talked about Goldilocks, and I know 5th graders, you did Goldilocks in the band last year. My 6th graders, we did if Goldilocks was prosecuted, and we kind of talked about that yesterday, if she truly committed a crime. They're asking your opinion. So if you say yes, she should be prosecuted, she is a criminal, or you say no, I believe that she just made an honest mistake, those are fine as long as you have what? Evidence from the text to support your answer. So if Nadia says Goldilocks was guilty, she needs to go to jail for many years. Some of you got very violent with her punishment yesterday. And Greta says, no, I believe that Goldilocks made an honest mistake. She's only a little girl. She should be forgiven. That's not right or wrong. You just have to prove it with your text evidence. Okay? So today, so we did kind of the fun one. Today, we're going to work with our close reading that we've had all week. All about astronauts. Okay, nonfiction. So it kind of goes with 5th grade, you've been doing biographies about astronauts. 6th grade, you've been talking about different scientists. Then we went through, we read it for the flow. Right? And we went back, we circled words that maybe we didn't know that were more complex. Very good. And then we put our gist. Perfect. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to apply all of this to a yes, ma'am passage. It's going to ask you your opinion. That's all right. So, let's go through this packet. This is going to help you out. So, yes, ma'am. We start with me. Restate the question and give your opinion. What shouldn't you put in the first sentence? What shouldn't you put in the first sentence? Ella? Because. Why wouldn't you want to put because in your first sentence in yes, ma'am? We've talked about this, and it's actually one of our skills from grammar last week. What does it cause? It makes run-on sentences. And then you might not go back to the text and specifically put your finger on it, okay? So all you need to do is state your opinion. Bam. You got your first sentence down. Perfect. Okay? The second sentence, author. That's when you go back to the passage. So you're going to go back to your passage about being the astronaut, and you're going to find one specific detail. If you cannot put your finger on it, if you can't highlight it, if you can't share it with a friend, it's not a detail you can use. If you just say, well, last year I think, has to be from the text. And so they even give you, this little packet gives you some ideas. In the text, the text says, according to the passage, one example is, the author states. Look at our close read from yesterday. How could you even be more specific? How could you be even more specific? Hint, hint, hint. Talk to your partner. Oh, I hear it. I hear people saying it. I think I heard it up here. Can you guys 3, 2, 1? Right. Okay, I heard Amelia say it, and I just heard Colton say it. I heard some others here. This is numbered. You could specifically say, you could be more precise. You could be more precise and say, in paragraph 2, the author states, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Yes. And you could even be super specific and say, in the last sentence of paragraph 2. Okay? So that's some things I know we're going to kind of bump up to those things. The next sentence, so that's one sentence, right? You're done. You go to the next sentence. Guess what? It's the author again. So you're going to skim and scan. You're going to find another detail. And it says, support your opinion with a second specific detail from the detail from the text. It says in the text also states. Another example, the author also states. You want to kind of use those sequence words so they know that this is your second specific detail, okay? And then, bam, you're at your last sentence, right? The minimum you need is how many sentences? Right. So the last one, explain the importance of your example. What does it prove? What do these two prove? Don't come up with something else not in there. Don't infer. What does this prove? What is your point? So then your last sentence you can start. This shows, this demonstrates, I believe, now I know, this shows, this explains. I know it does say that 2 times. It's super important. So that you could use this. If you like this graphic organizer to help you get started. Then the next one, same exact thing, just some different wording. Restate the question and give an opinion. This is just like our poster over there. Okay. Support your opinion with one specific detail in the text. The text states according to the passage, one example, the author states. We go to author again. Explain the significance. Same thing. But let's say you don't like any of the words here. There might be some additional words on this part. Okay? Then I have these that I came up with that are over on the S&M wall over there, according to the passage on page. Because if you're doing something out of a book and you refer back to the page, the reason I think is because the author states an example from the text based on what I read in paragraph blank I read. And then these are your yes ma'ams. So today, you're going to have two graphic organizers. You can choose from this one. This is what we did yesterday when we talked about Goldilocks. Remember, and it's more of a shopping list. Do you have to write complete sentences on that? No. When you go to the grocery, do you write, I will go to the dairy section and I will buy milk? No. Then I will walk over to the produce and get tomato. No. Milk, tomatoes. You might put a little blurb out there, right? Does mom, dad, grandpa, grandma? Yeah, that would take forever if you had to write it all out. This is just your notes. What do you want your opinion to be? Me. What's something from the text that the author says? The author says, me. You can choose this, and if you forget, you can look right up here. Or, I know some people like to put a little more detail. This gives you a little bit more room. Same exact thing. Me. Reword the question and state a personal opinion. Author. Support your opinion with one specific detail from the text. So it's the same thing. It even gives you those little beginning sentences, okay? So you're going to choose which one you like better. I know some people like to have a little more notes. Some people are good just with this. Okay? So this is going to go in the very front of your writing folder. Then all of you have this. You can use this as a bookmark. You can keep it in the front pocket. If you're going over to Mrs. Klingler's and you're going to write with Mrs. Klingler, you can take it with you. You probably want your writing folder anyway, though. Okay? So today, I want you to, we're going to look at our close read one more time. So we've done our close reading, we wrote our gist. So remember how we talked about yesterday. We looked at it with glasses, kind of just read for the flow. Then we looked with a microscope. We picked out small little parts, one part at a time, either words or paragraphs. Then we kind of talked about the gist. This last time we're going to kind of look at it with a telescope, a wider view. How would this relate to you? So I'm going to read you the question that you guys are going to read. This time you're going to look at it a little bit differently. So this is going to be your yes, ma'am writing prompt. Using information you have read, do you think you would make a good astronaut? So this is an opinion. Yes or no. But do you put yes or no in your? You're going to say, I believe I would make a good astronaut. Or, I don't think an astronaut would be a good profession, or something like that, okay? Then, write an opinion essay that clearly supports your opinion. Use evidence from the text to support your opinions in your essay. Is that yes, ma'am? Why is this yes, ma'am? What makes this yes, ma'am that it's specific? Madison. They want your opinion. So there's not right or wrong. It's if you can use the text evidence. Okay? So right now, you're going to look at your close read one more time, this time with a telescope, kind of maybe a little broader view. And then we're going to think about if you would make a good astronaut, or if you don't think an astronaut would be a good profession for you. So everyone right now, skim and scan one more time before we get started. You might want to look at your gist. We said you could put them on the back. That could be helpful.
So I believe your sport is blank. Okay? That is my first opinion. I reworded the question. What is the sport? And my personal opinion, which you're going to fill the blank with your personal opinion. Or which is also your direct response. Who has not filled in the blank yet? Fill that in. So we're going to move on to the next part, which is the author. Support your opinion with one specific detail. Now, what I want you to do first, choose a sentence story of your choice. Either in the text.
Now, in the future,
According to the passage.
right, would that be something that that's a great question. She said, an astronaut right now or in the future?
Or number 2.
Because I'm not college educated. It would be in the future.
The text states.
That if you went to college, would that be something that you could? Okay. Has everyone done their skim and scan? Okay. Remember yesterday when we did Goldilocks? We had more than 4 sentences, didn't we? Because we elaborated. 6th grade, my goal for you is that you would elaborate a little bit more with the text evidence. 5th grade, I would like you to try. The minimum would be what? 4 sentences. If you elaborate just a little bit more, that's 6th grade, I think you can bump it up. Okay? So, right now, I'm going to have Adeline, she's going to pass these all out to your desk, and then I'm going to excuse 6th grade. You're going to go choose on the table right here, there's this graphic organizer that you can use. Just get your shopping list down. Or, for those of you that want a little bit more, maybe if you're going to elaborate a little bit more, you might have a few more notes. Remember to use the text evidence from our close read. It gives you several ideas of what it takes to be an astronaut. Would that work for you or not? So you might want to use a highlighter. You could circle the thing. Well, I guess we've already circled some words. Underline it. Star some items that would be text evidence. Yep. Close reading. Right there. Okay? 6th grade.